Hello, my name is Julio Diaz. Welcome to Guitar Memories. Tonight, I have a pleasure for introduce you a great guitarist called Gabriel Medina. Thank you, Gabriel, for accept the invitation for the podcast. And can you talk about you, about yourself, please?
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me, Julio. I really appreciate the invite. Man, I've been playing guitar off and on for the past 20 years. I've owned a lot of guitars. My main go to is metal. So that is just what drives me and what inspires me, and what I'm passionate about. Just the metal sound that moves through me that I got to get out.
That's really nice. How do you start with the guitar? Maybe you saw a video or you went to a concert with your family or something like that.
You mean when I was like little? I've always been really inspired with music from the time I could hear music. Um, when I was little, I heard rock music or grunge music, and I couldn't stop listening to it. That's all I wanted to do was just listen to music. And then, with that being said, all I really wanted to do was play like who I was listening to, which at the time was just Nirvana. And then I would watch TV with those guys on, and I would see like this guy is singing and playing guitar. It's like, man, that's awesome. It's like, I really want to do that. And when I was 9, my sister got me a guitar, and I ended up breaking all the strings, and I had to give the guitar back because I didn't know what I was doing with it. Like I didn't understand what tuning was or anything. I just knew that you hold the strings on the neck and then you just strum. But I was strumming too hard and I just broke the strings.
Yeah.
But I had fun doing it. Uh, but eventually, in my teens, I got another guitar. My sister bought me another guitar, but I had more of an idea of what I wanted to sound like because by that time, I'm a teenager and I have an idea of what my favorite music is at the time. And so now I'm going from Nirvana to White Zombie. And at the time, White Zombie was some of the best music I heard, even though it was already music that was 10 years old. I was still possessed by whatever I was hearing. And I go, man, that is such an amazing sound coming out of this band. And when my sister took me to Guitar Center to go get the guitar, that's the first thing I told the person that was helping us was I go, hey, I want to sound like White Zombie. That's that's it. That's the only thing I knew. I want to sound like White Zombie, and that's it. And the guy gave me a guitar that was really funny shape, and it was black, and it ended up being a BC Rich Mockingbird.
Okay. Where did you listen the music or on TV or radio station or something?
Oh yeah, so in the '90s, MTV was actually music TV. It's like where you would go to listen to anything that's new or watch anything cool because you had all these rock bands making these really neat videos. And I remember just watching just music videos all day, and White Zombie came on, and I was like, wow, like this is crazy, and I just loved it, and it was enchanting, and the same thing with Nirvana. Nirvana was just like really cool. But that's where I was inspired. Just music was my world when I saw those music videos. Yeah.
Well, can you return for the Guitar Center when you take the BC Rich guitar?
Yeah. So, yeah, I get the guitar, and I'm trying to figure out how to play it and where to start because I got a small amp, and I tune up the amp just right, and I think I got everything under control, and I got everything to where I just like it. But I didn't know if I was in tune or not. I just knew that whatever was coming out of the amp sounded good.
Yeah.
And then I ended up meeting a friend who kind of helped me read tabs for guitar. And yeah, I at the time I was really inspired by a song by Tool called Enema, and all I wanted to do was listen to that song and learn how to play that song. Nothing was better than playing what that song made me feel. And then that's really the motivation I had learning that song. Because when I was first learning tabs, it was really foreign because there's just numbers on lines. And I was just kind of like, okay, so, you know, the numbers mean the blocks on the neck. And, you know, I was like, okay, so I got to do this. And then I go, oh, well, I got to look at the numbers and then match it to the rhythm of the CD.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so that's how I was able to kind of keep in time to what was going on versus what I was reading, because I was just completely new to music because I'm teaching myself after I had a friend go like, hey, this is what the music is. Here's the music that you want to play, and this means that. And so you just learn it by listening to the CD. And so that's all I did. And, you know, I would break it down into small bites, you know, just what is this one? And I didn't even know it was a measure. I was just like, okay, let me just play this one part. And I'd play it over and over until I got close to matching it with the CD. And so the closer I got, the more excited I was. And then it just snowballed until I can play one measure of what I love to hear. And I'm like, I'm playing it. And it just got me excited. I was just so thrilled to be playing the same thing that I was hearing on the CD. And going like, wow, this is amazing. I can do what this guy's doing. And it probably didn't sound all that good at first, but I got around to really tightening things up and really adjusting my tone and getting really close to matching the timing and the sound of the CD.
Okay. But that was your first guitar.
That was my second guitar.
Oh, your second.
Yeah, the first one I broke it.
Oh, you broke it, but
Yeah, the strings. The strings didn't work. I gave it back to my sister, and then about
oh, you back.
yeah, I'm
it's broken.
sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was broke.
It was bad guitar.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. And the thing is that it was super nice for my sister to give me a guitar and inspire me, because I did want to play a bunch of Nirvana when I got my first guitar, but I didn't have anybody there to teach me. So, you know, you kind of give a tool to someone, a young person, but you don't show them how to use it. It's just going to go to waste, because you go like, well, I want to learn this, but no one is there to show me what to do or what direction to go. So it was really terrible, because I could have started at 9 and been a lot better. So you go like, all right, well, you know, and all the Nirvana stuff, like I don't I don't think at that age I could have figured out how to play, even though it was pretty simple stuff. But if you don't know how to use the guitar, like where are you gonna like how's the ball gonna start rolling? Because you don't know anything about the tool you're using.
Okay.
Yeah, and so it's not until years later when I get the second guitar that I go, oh, well now I have a friend who knows how to play proper to go, no, this is how you read music, or this is how you read a form of music. And, the momentum of just keeping with it was just the satisfaction of playing what I love to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, because when I was so little and I start with my first guitar and I'm trying to play and something sounds similar like I hear on the CD or whatever, and it sounds really, really, really nice, and you feel power, and oh, I'm a rock star. Maybe I play so wrong the song or the riff, but I feel the power for oh, I want to do that forever.
Right. And that's the thing is that I know along the way, as I've been playing, I've inspired people to buy a guitar and play it. And before they go off and buy it, I go, look, make sure that you have a song that you love that you can try to play, because that is the only thing that's going to keep the ball going. Because if you just get a guitar and you live in a fantasy of like, oh, it'd be really cool to play, this Rolling Stone song or something like that. If you don't have a particular song, you'll never get going because there's no direction. You just have a Rolling Stone song stuck in your head, or just a Rolling Stone songs, more than one, stuck in your head, and nothing to really go off of. But I always told the people that I inspired that went out to go buy a guitar, I go, find the song you love. Find a song you love and you want to play on guitar, and then go buy the guitar. But find the song first, because without that song, you don't have anything to keep pushing you. You don't have anything to explore. And that's kind of how you fall into it. Once you've explored a song, you can use those techniques on your own to create your own stuff.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and if you, and that's kind of the point of playing an instrument is to express. Once you learn, the how things um, sound on a guitar techniques, then it's easy for you to go like, oh, well, if I want to express this way, I can. And because I know from learning this one song that I relate to or I love because it resonates. And now that you've learned what resonates with you, you can take it in and push it out in your own way.
Oh, nice, nice. Okay. Well, can you talk about your projects? Do you have some projects now, or talk about your past projects?
Yeah, so as of now, I've got my own solo project on the back burner. Um, a lot of, I've moved and then I moved back. There's just been a lot of things going on um, that that's made it hard to focus on getting back into the music that I've been making. Um, but yeah, I do work on my own project, and it's just in development right now. It's really all about finding out what I want to say, you know, and it's not through words but through sound. You know, setting the stage of what is there to talk about, and that's how I see writing. Um, you know, it's not worth writing if you aren't a good storyteller. You know, you can write music that lays out a story just with sound, no words. And I think that's important um, when it comes to writing. At least have some kind of journey to show um, before you just display something. Because anybody can go out and they could just make noise. But I think people are aware of it's just kind of ongoing or pointless. Like it's just noise just for the sake of being noise. But yeah, right now, it's something that's on a back burner that I'm kind of looking into and making sure that I've got everything set before I get back into making something new and playing um, out in the clubs. Um, you know, it's kind of a catch-22. That means like it's a good and it's a bad thing because I've tried networking and talking to people in the DFW about putting bands together, but what I've ran into is there's a lot of dreamers, people that just want to talk about being successful, and then you have people that have drug problems.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I've met people that have really good talent playing drums or playing bass, and by the time we're done, playing, or the time it's time for practice, they're hungover or they're stoned and they can't make it. So that just really hurts the band, and and everybody gets exhausted just because you have either one person or a couple people that are just not serious and they have problems getting in the way of you know that journey.
Hmm.
And I finally decided, hey, we are in a time to where I can research a technology to help make music where I don't need a band. I could just play guitar over a track, and that's where I'm at now. Um, what about yourself?
Yeah.
Do you have anything?
Uh, no, it's I understand that because on my past, I'm trying to get to join on the band, but the band was my priority, and for the another people, it's not, and that's frustrated. And I start to study sound engineer and audio engineer, and I focus for be a producer, because okay, if you are really deeply on your business, I can be there, and it's your problem, like the band. But when I start with my projects for myself, I'm trying to practice or compose some songs for myself. Yes, I understand what are you talking about that, because try treat with people, it's hard sometimes.
Yeah, and there was a time I found a really good drummer that was really good, and the thing was is that he was really good playing by himself, but when it came to time, he just couldn't keep up with time.
Oh,
So that was something I stumbled into, and then that got annoying. Just because I go like I know the talent's there, but the the timing's off, and we're not getting anywhere if the other person doesn't understand like the timing and remembering songs. And that was just another obstacle that I ran into and going like, what I don't understand because you're good, but it was that type of issue. So yeah, it's real tough. Doing it by yourself is a lot easier. It can be tough at times, just because I'm my own worst critic. You know, I don't know, you know, what enough is because it's just me, and I'll listen and I'll dissect every part and go, okay, well, this riff, does it transition to this riff nice? Like, what's the momentum of the song? Am I starting off what I had in mind, and does it transition to something that has a heavy impact? And then just going like, okay, am I happy with it? And going, it could be better. And then I'm just fighting with myself.
Okay.
When you're writing your own stuff, right? Because you write your own stuff, right?
Yes, yes.
Like, do you ever listen to it and you go, it's good, but it could be better?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I'm asking. It's like,
Yes, but that's a problem for the musicians because we composed and we never done. We never okay. I create that song. I create that piece, and we record the song. But oh, that part could be better, or you that's the reason the band needs a producer, because they need to a another point of view to hey, it's done, no more. You don't need anything else for that song, because the song has a enough parts, or maybe the song is too long and need to be short, or different. Like, it's too short and it's not a really clear idea. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and I understand why you are talking about that,
Right.
because we never done about something about the project. When you start the project, you need to be clear with yourself. I need, I have a deadline like this. I have a deadline to finish the song of the album or something like that. Like the podcast. When we start to talk about the podcast, okay, what kind of equipment we need? What kind of questions we we need to have? But okay, I have that questions, but not too much, not too little. And okay, I get some equipment, but if I keep just a just talking and talking and talking, no, I need to have a deadline. It's because I have the experience about on music, on doing doing music on a studio recording. We need a deadlines, because that focusedly your stuff. Okay. Yeah, but you're great.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But, like, I know that, like I was saying, I am my worst critic when I'm writing. And I think
Oh yeah, it's the syndrome of impostors. It's like,
imposter syndrome.
yes,
That
it's
well,
you did something and you said, oh, that's a shit.
right. And so I figured what I'm going to do to gauge it, because I was thinking of when I started playing guitar and I got serious, I didn't know how good I was because all I was doing was just playing and playing and playing and playing, and it was just me, and that's all I did was play, 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 play. And it wasn't until I played with some friends that I knew that were really good, like really, really good, and it wasn't until they told me, like, "Wow, you're really good," that then I knew I was good because they told me and they saw me from the start. So having that in mind, I think when I'm start writing again, is that I will uh, make a small portion of a song and go, I like it, right? And I'll just leave it there. But I won't know if it's good until I let somebody hear it. And if they give me the reaction that I'm looking for, or if they give me a reaction that I like, then I know it's good. Because, like I said, I don't know how to judge, right? It's not until somebody else hears it that they react. And then you go, oh, well, that's a good reaction, right? Or that's a bad reaction. But whatever the reaction is, I can either improve or just stay with it. And that's what I'm planning on doing when I write something new.
Okay, Gabriel, thank you. Okay, next question. Well, because your influences are metal, eh, why you decide to get deeply on that style of music, on create music about this kind of music?
Well, it resonates with me, you know? To me, music's a lot like food. You know, if it tastes good, you keep eating it. And if it tastes really good, you eat a lot of it. And so when I hear metal or music that I like, then that's a music that I want to explore. And not only do I want to explore, I want to figure out if I relate on a deeper level. You know, there's something more to the sound of a song. You know, it there's something that grabs you whenever you hear like a riff. You know, like one from Metallica, how it starts off, right? And you go like, wow, you know, and just those opening notes are just memorizing, and it pulls me into this state of mind that I go, wow, well, that sound has taken me to a different place. How did it originate from the writer? And I've got to know. So by learning that particular song, I go, wow, that's really cool to play, and I want to get a better idea of how that even started. And it's just a passion that it gives me. You know, I just love metal. It resonates. it resonates at a really personal level. You know, it just sounds good, and I've got to know, you know, how many different sounds there are to the metal genre. You know, what are people doing with it? You know, how do we go from Black Sabbath to, you know, Slayer and and Bolt Thrower and, you know, Deicide and Obituary, and we just get deeper with the metal sound because I it's amazing how it evolves. You know, I listen to Black Sabbath, and right there, that's the start of this this sound that that is just out of this world. And now we're here in 2025, and you know the metal genre has exploded in so many different ways. It's hard to count, but look what it did. That ripple effect did all that, and it's going to do more. And who knows how long metal's going to be around just from that one sound. And that's what I'm so passionate about metal, just because it just resonates with me and at a higher state of mind or consciousness.
Yeah, I know.
It moves me in a way nothing else can. And you go like, well, how do I get that feeling? How do I get that movement? How do I feel that passion, that vibration of sound? Is it does something to the mind.
Yeah.
Like you know, you ever listen to something and it just doesn't get old, and you hear that one tune or that one sound from a guitar, and just it sticks with you. It never leaves your head.
Yes, yes, it's like
It's like magic.
sure it when we are younger, uh, you start to discover the music, and like you said, resonates with you, uh, and it's really interesting the the people uh, like some different kind of music, yeah. But like us, like rockers, like metal guys, and we are deeply on the riffs, on the solos, and that explode your mind, and you want more and more and more, and but it's like a therapy. It's like a therapy because the music keep you alive and keep you enjoying that sounds, and for the lyrics or drum fill or guitar riff or guitar solo like this, and it's amazing the music can do for you sometimes. Well, can destroy you too, because we know a lot stories about the people was so deeply in music, and they try to kill themselves. Yeah, but I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, like, how many times have you, you know, you grabbed a guitar and you played a chord or something that just resonated so perfectly, you know, and you just kept going because it took you, it not only, it gave you a chance to resonate that sound within you, but express yourself and push you to keep going.
Yeah, yeah. That's a plus we have because we play guitar and well, a lot people loves music, loves rock, loves metal, loves whatever. And but when you play the guitar or play an instrument and you can do the same thing on your favorite music, and it's really nice and keep keep you alive. It's really really nice. Okay, Gabriel, can you show us your guitar?
Yes.
Talk a little bit about your guitar.
So this is my second guitar, um, or my first guitar that I bought at a Guitar Center, and it's a Jackson Dinky. Um, but originally, I saw a video, a Pantera video, and noticed the guitar that Dime was playing, and I didn't know guitars enough to know what he was playing. All I could remember is that in that guitar, or in that video, his guitar had these inlays in it, and it had a headstock that was real similar to this. And what I ended up finding out is that that guitar that I wanted was actually two guitars in one. And Dime he was known for making these Frankenstein guitars because of Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah.
So he wasn't like he didn't care to destroy a guitar to make something new just for fun. And so I was watching this video, and it was a Psycho Holiday, and I really liked that guitar that he was playing in that video, and I wanted something. I either wanted that guitar or wanted something similar. And what I ended up finding out was he broke the body off the Dean, or broke the neck off the Dean, and put a Jackson onto the body of the Dean. So that's why it looked just like this. So that was about the time I was getting into more of the technical Pantera stuff, when I was learning everything. And that's what I eventually found out, because that guitar, out of all the guitars he has, or that guitar and another guitar have a different headstock. All the Deans have the V headstock, but the Concrete Sledge one has the Jackson headstock. And I was like, man, that's really cool. I always thought that was one of the coolest guitars, and I wanted that guitar. And that's part of the reason I got this one, because I was convinced that he played Jackson just because I remember these inlays and this headstock. But yeah, I liked the guitar, and it was really good when I got it. Part of the reason I ended up buying it was because of this Floyd Rose, and at the time I was doing a lot of or practicing a lot of those Dime techniques that he would do when he was soloing. So it gave me a chance to explore just using the whammy bar without it going out of tune. On the plus side, I didn't notice that this toggle switch gave me just these crazy levels of sound just because of how the pickups are laid out. And that ended up turning out to be a really good thing later on down the road, when I just started writing a bunch of stuff. If I need to write clean things, I was able to kind of narrow down or look at my options between all these pickups. And this is probably the only guitar that I have that has this option. So it's always nice to write something, and if it's clean, then I'll grab this to run it through all the toggles to see if it enhances the sound that I'm looking for. Or like, I'll go ahead and find something clean to play, and then go like, oh, well, once I toggle over here, not only does it enhance the sound, but I can actually do more and add, and then totally end up somewhere else by just playing around with these humbuckers instead of just having one here and one there. So yeah, this guitar, I wasn't crazy about it for the longest time, and then it actually turned out to be quite the quite I guess a nice guitar just for the dynamics of what it could do and how it could help me change something simple. And like you were playing it earlier, I was just like,
Yeah.
hey, try this, try that, like, and I could hear once you heard the tone change that you wanted to do something else.
Yeah.
And that's the magic of this guitar. Yeah, you could play the same chord, 5 different times, but out of those 5, one of the toggles or one of the settings is going to take you into a different direction just because of the tone. And that's the fun thing about this, is that you have more than just 3 tones to play with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's was really nice. I play a little bit.
Yeah,
And
I saw. Yeah.
oh, can you play something for us, like a riff or whatever?
I just don't know what to play here.
You don't know.
I just don't know what to play here. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it's like punch.
Yeah,
Punch your
with,
face.
Yeah, with this, I guess it is what it is. Usually, I have something that's just a bit more aggressive because. But yeah, I just don't know really what to play. I mean, I can show you some warm ups.
Yeah, it sounds really tough, but really big. The sound of the the humbucker. Are you using the humbucker right now? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm using the bridge. But it's hard to give an example of how warm this guitar sound is. And it's good for what it is, but I blame it on the amp. It's a good sound. I'm not
Well, well, Gabriel, but did you have some classes for teachers or just for your own?
No, I was completely self-taught.
Oh,
Everything else I just would pick up on a tab. Like I was saying earlier, once I had a friend show me how to read tabs, that was it. They just opened up the door to endless possibilities of going like, oh, well, this is how things work. So, all I have to do is now find, any kind of song that I want and understand how to play it or figure out the tempo because I have the numbers here to show me, what to play, the pattern, but I need the CD to figure it out how it's played in tempo. But no, I'm self-taught, and I think that I mean that works for me. I'm pretty content. I know I've gotten enough compliments to tell me that I'm good. I've definitely been in a couple of guitar competitions where I didn't really have to, worry too much about if I was good being self-taught. Um, and just to kind of give you an example, I was playing against maiden players, so not really worried if I can keep up with maiden players because maiden players, man, they're another level. They're those guys because you listen to Maiden, right? Yeah, a lot of Maiden stuff, man. That's I'm not a huge Maiden fan, but I sure do like. I'm very impressed with their work. Those guys are
yeah, they're amazing.
they're crazy good, and I never knew how crazy good they were until I actually met some Maiden players and figured out firsthand how good they were, and going like, wow, like that is really good, and so. Got my compliments from those guys, and that's good enough for me. So, yeah, I don't know if I could. Um, I don't know if I could do lessons. It wouldn't seem fun to me. It just wouldn't seem fun. Like I don't like the idea of art having some kind of structure. Like it wouldn't be fun to do real boring exercises. Nothing would pull me away from guitar faster than doing something boring, like learning chords. I did take music classes in like fifth grade, playing recorder, and boy, that was really boring. Like I could read that particular music, but by the time I got to guitar, it was all gone. But that's the fun of art. It could be anything, whatever's in your head. You just figure out how to find that sound, and then you could just do whatever you want with it. It's just like getting a marker and start drawing anything on a piece of paper. You can go anywhere with it, as long as it's fun. Um, I think that's the benefit for me of being self-taught. Now, I possibly could learn stuff, but I don't think it would be fun if I was taught, uh, you know,
Yeah,
traditionally or anything
you
like that.
you are looking for your own interest and your own way. Yeah, a lot people, a lot guitarists doing that, or a lot some people learning right now with YouTube. but on our 90s and in 2000s, we just have the tabs and we don't have some process. We okay learn that, and but it's really nice. You found your own way, your own road, and that's really good. And
Yeah, but you know, a lot of it has to do with just playing stuff I love. You know, I just loved what I played, and the more I played, the more I would say, well, I just learned this song and it had this technique, and I would just use that one technique to play with, and I would just play with that one technique, and just doing that, I would create this whole new structure of song just from this one technique that I learned from another song. And it wouldn't sound anything like it because I'm playing it completely different and at a completely different tone and at a completely different tempo. And it just comes out just different and it evolves into its own thing. Just going like, wow, this one technique is really cool. And just going from that. And so it's really nice to look at your self-taught stuff and go like, whoa, learning new things gave me the opportunity to just add more stuff to a song, and then I know I got to a point to where I was just like, I wonder how many techniques I can put into a song. And then I just would write stuff that I learned. Okay, this technique, 4 bars. Next technique, 4 bars. Next technique. And by the time I knew it, I had, 8 techniques just in one song, which was, it was fun to play because I completely challenged myself going, oh, all right, well, which technique's next? And I had to keep up with every technique. Which, I mean, I guess you could do that if somebody was teaching you, but it'd be different if somebody was telling me to learn that versus me loving the technique I just learned. This is like finding a piece of it's like finding a piece of treasure or something. You find it and you go like, wow, this is great. Like, what else can I put with it to make a crown? And you find another piece of something and you add it to the crown. It's like that's how I look at all of the techniques I've learned, and then making a new song and just going like, oh well, what am I going to put together? Like, what sounds fun to play, or what resonates, and then just go into that.
it's so nice. It's so nice. Okay, Gabriel. What music have you been listening to lately? Do you discover some new bands or something you said, oh, that's amazing?
Lately, it's been hard to find something that inspires me, but I have grown a little infatuated with classical Spanish guitar. Yeah.
Wow, it's so different.
Yeah, it's very different, but that's where I'm at with my guitar playing. Is that the metal realm? I've got it. I'm really confident in my riffs and my licks and stuff like that. But expanding how to explore the guitar, Spanish guitar would probably be what I'm possibly going to look into, just because I've heard how complex, and that's what intrigues me is that you can play just using the guitar, just a nice song, playing so many notes, and the technique is mind blowing. You go like, man, how are they doing that? And that's what really pulls me in, because I know that there's tools and elements of that style that I could use for metal, and a lot of it is already been done by like Yngwie, and I like a lot of Yngwie stuff. It gets stale for me at times, but I do like the idea of learning techniques and going like, all right, well, let's just use a fragment of that and see how I can turn it into a metal thing. Just because it sounds so fun to play. Like, oh man, it's puzzling. Like I just like how a lot of that Spanish guitar is just done. I go, well, what happens if you take that and do this to it? Is it possible? Will it sound right? It might not, but it's worth exploring because it just excites me, really.
Mm-hmm.
And saying, well, let's see what happens. Let's see if I can do it.
Yeah.
That's always another thing in the back of my head. Can I do it? Am I good enough to do it?
Mm-hmm.
There's still a lot of the metal stuff that I go, yeah, well, Marty Friedman solos, they're really tough, and yeah, it'll take some time, and I go, well, I'm only going to try so much, just because I know I can't do a lot of it,
Mm-hmm.
and it just requires so much time that I'm like, well, is it even worth doing? When you look into stuff like that, you kind of think of how much time you're going to put into learning that technique, right? And then what you have to think about next is it even worth taking the time to learn it, to use it yourself? Because I know from past experience that I played so much Pantera that a lot of my stuff was starting to sound like it, and that's what I didn't want.
Mm-hmm.
I want to take that element, but I wasn't turning it into something that was me.
Mm-hmm.
So I would solo, and it would sound very Dimebag-ish. And I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm good on that. That's good, but I don't want to sound like Dime, just because, that's Dime. And so that's the hard part of just sitting down to go, okay, let's try to do this, Megadeth solo or Zakk Wylde solo, and see if I can work it into my own stuff in my own way, and then going like, well, that solo is so unique
Mm-hmm.
that it's just going to sound like Zakk Wylde if I play it. So there's no other way to make that technique sound any different than how it's already been created.
Mm-hmm.
And so, at least with the Spanish guitar, there's techniques in there that I don't ever hear in metal.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And so that's the plus, is going like, can I grab this and turn it into that? And just saying, well, hold on, I don't even know if I can do the technique.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of going to be the fun part once I start playing with it, because it is such a different way of playing guitar.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Well, Gabriel, if the money it's not a problem, what guitar you buy, you said, okay, I have money. I want this guitar. Do you know what kind of guitar? Or...
No, no. To me, that's not very relevant. Just because, whether it's a $1,000 guitar or a $200 guitar, as long as I get the sound that I want, then I'm happy with it. Just because I've played really high end guitars and said, well, this is really not all that much different from my $200 guitar, because once I adjust the tone, I'm only just a frequency away from what I had with the $200 guitar, so it's not really relevant. Like, I can't really picture any guitar and go, oh, well, I played the signature, the, the ESP Snakebite signature James Hetfield guitar, which was really good. And once I got it tuned into the tone I wanted, well, it wasn't relevant if I was playing, my Dean. It was all about like what was comfortable at that point. So, that there is no real ideal guitar for me, just because it's all about how comfortable I am with the guitar. It's kind of like a really good example is remember that green guitar that I brought to work?
Mm-hmm.
That I let you play?
Yeah.
That was a Zach Wild by Wild Audio. It was a beautiful guitar, wasn't it?
Amazing.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. It was so amazing, but it was very uncomfortable to play.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So not only was it an expensive guitar, and it sounded okay, I wasn't even thrilled about how it sounded once I plugged it in. That was a guitar I bought and said to myself, this was going to be like my last guitar that I buy, and I'm going to write all my music on it. And I got it, and I tuned into it, and I just wasn't comfortable with it. I mean, I wasn't crazy about the sound, even though it had EMG pickups in it. Like, there were hot pickups, and it just wasn't comfortable.
What album changed your life? Do you remember that album you listen and and you listen over and over again?
Jeez. Oh, that's a problem. I've had so many. I guess when I was 10, I heard Pantera's Great Southern Trendkill.
Mm-hmm.
And the first song blew my mind.
Oh.
Because it was the craziest, heaviest song I've ever heard. And I didn't even know what I was listening to. I just knew that it was amazing. And I only picked it out because I was at a friend's house, and they borrowed a bunch of CDs from their brother, and I saw the cover of the CD, and the cover is just a picture of the face of a rattlesnake.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what is that? Like, it's Pantera. And he put it on, and it just blew my mind. And I was like, wow. I thought I understood metal.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I knew what metal was, because by that time, I've heard White Zombie, and I heard Metallica, and I knew what they were. But Pantera those guys, Metallica was like right here, and then White Zombie was like right here, but then that Pantera song was just way above and beyond because it was amazing. It was. I was like, wow, I didn't know you could do this with metal, and I think, I think about it now, and I go, it's because I had that experience of finding out that people could do that with metal. It's always a good idea to kind of venture out and listen to what everybody else is doing. Because I only was living in a small metal bubble. And it wasn't until somebody was like, put that on, and I go, wow, I didn't even think that was possible. And yeah, that was amazing.
Oh, thank you. Well, and what album do you recommend for our subscribers? And we are talking about guitars, and what album do you recommend they can listen for? Oh, that album has the best guitars ever.
That's impossible to answer. I mean, for the people that are watching, you don't know if they're going to be blues players. You don't know if they're going to be rock players. There's just so many genres that has guitar in it. We don't know if they're going to be classical players. It's hard to recommend something. It's like with you, I would say, hey, listen to Megadeth, Holy Wars, but you don't even like Megadeth.
No, but I will do because, well, the reason for that podcast, it's not just for talking about guitars. It's discover music. Yes, I meet Megadeth on my 20s or 16 years, but I don't feel connect with Megadeth. But the reason for the podcast, it's know more about music and different genres and different kind of guitarists. Yeah, because we have different taste, but sometimes we have the influence for somebody else, and the people will connect. Some people connect with you or with another guitarist, and okay, I like his journey, and I want to know about his influences, why he talk about that. Okay, and this is the value the podcast, to connect with another guitarist or bass players or drummers. Maybe they are looking for a new guitarist, and will be you or another guest. Yeah, but I will listen all the recommendations or the albums the guest blows their minds. Yes, because it's an exercise for myself. Yeah, but thank you for the recommendation and your favorite album. And I will listen in, and I talk with you about that.
Yeah, but if you were to sum it up like that, if somebody was to want to explore metal and kind of they know how to play guitar and they weren't familiar with it, then I would recommend something simple and riff heavy, like Rammstein. Do you know Rammstein?
Yeah. the German band.
Yes. And because a lot of their stuff is uh, rhythm heavy, and it's very simple to play. It's not very complex, so it won't be overwhelming. The same thing with Tool, but with Tool, the rudiments and the riffs of the timing would be kind of tough to deal with if you aren't that advanced. So, but it still would be fun to learn those time signatures if you were to play. Now, if you're more advanced guitar player, then you'd have to branch off to, as far as advanced riff playing, I would say stuff like Megadeth, because they got pretty advanced riffs that are tricky to play. If you wanted to explore soloing, then I would say Yngwie, because he's got a lot of classical training. And so a lot of his stuff is going to be rooted in classical music theory, which will be really fun to tackle if that's how advanced you are. Let's see, that's all I can really recommend, because it's really a tough question to answer, because I just don't know. Like, I've bumped into blues players, and I go, well, can you play this Cowboys from Hell or something? And they're like, yeah, that's really cool, but and I recommend that to a blues player because it's very blues oriented. It is a very bluesy sound, bluesy riff. So, but a lot of guys that are the blues players that I have bumped into, they just want to play like Stevie. They want to play something that is real BB King like, which is really cool. But that is just like the realm they want to live in, the bubble they want to live in, and so. It's just a really tough question. Yeah, it's
No, don't worry, but
yeah,
it's
you're making me sweat, Julio.
no. We are talking about music, about but it's something I want to do with the podcast. I want to understand people. I want to understand another musicians. Well, I'm not here. I didn't born and raised here. I'm from Colombia, and yes, we have uh, the mainstream rock music, yeah, but we discovered some kind of metal bands or blues bands or
Well, like
different.
Sepultura.
Yeah, Sepultura from Brazil.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are so amazing, and
They're really neat. Like, that's a really good branch to consider of like where metal has gone. Just because a lot of their stuff is tribal influenced, and it just makes it like that much more interesting to go like, wow, not only did they hear metal, but they created an identity. When you hear Sepultura, it's like, oh, I think I know who this is. This has got to be Sepultura, just because it's a very they use a lot of tribal drums, and their riffs are unique. I was like, wow, man. When I first heard Sepultura, that was
it's
really
amazing band.
Cool. And then Nile's from South America. You ever heard of Nile?
No.
They're really cool. Yeah, they're from South America, but you wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know it. Their metal doesn't have any kind of unique, uh, like it's really good music, metal music, but like you wouldn't know that they were. You wouldn't know where they were from.
I will search about that. Yes, well, on South America, we have a really big bands of like Rata Blanca. They are so similar. Like, well, they have a lot influence about Iron Maiden or Invent Manson, and they are amazing. But they are singing on Spanish. Well, the city I was I were Equimosis, it's a thrash metal. Uh, the Juanes, you don't know Juanes, but well, he's a famous singer from Colombia, but he's doing right now pop music, pop rock music, and but when he was young, he was on a metal band, and his influence is Metallica, Pantera, Anthrax, Exodus, all the kind of music. But he loves vallenato, salsa, eh, every every kind of music, and his story is so interesting because he makes his influence about a tropical music or or traditional music.
What is tropical music? What is
It's like vallenato, salsa, merengue.
that? Okay,
It's
well, I think I have an idea of salsa, but
yeah,
and then merengue is
merengue. It's faster. It's yeah, a lot. It's like salsa, but it's faster.
what is the one that they always use the beat. It's easy to notice the beat of
Well, depends, because they have a really fast beats and slow, but it's I don't know how to describe. But if I listen merengue, I can tell you, oh, that's merengue. This is merengue, and but it's really nice. On 80s, the merengue was explode all Latin America, and because they have a lot influence about the Central America uh, music, yeah, and well, reggaeton,
that's what it is. It's reggaeton.
all reggaeton.
Yeah, because the
Well,
reggaeton, a lot of what I've heard from that is they use that same like yeah,
yeah, and
that time
but
signature alone.
yes, but they have that kind of influence about the salsa, about the merengue. Yeah, but Juanes, he has all that kind of influences, and he mixed with rock music because he loves
Right,
Metallica.
right. It's a hybrid.
Yeah, and he tried to do something like that, and it's amazing. And all of
Because now
original-
it's aggressive.
sometimes sometimes
Well, yeah, because you use the beat, and then you figure out how to match the guitars to the beat, right? And then that's reggaeton, but with guitars.
yeah,
Right, yeah.
yeah,
Because you go, well, the signature of this genre of music is that particular time signature, right? And you go, okay, cool. Well, we already like this type of time signature beat. How do I put a guitar to it with a lot of distortion. You know? Yeah, I get it.
More classical. It's
Yeah.
like bachata. Bachata has a lot of guitar, but it's they take some lyrics about merengue and classical music, and it's like a mix, and sounds like chicken picking. It's and the bass has some lines for dum, tukun, dum, tukun, and they mix with the chicken picking. uh, and it's really really nice to discover that kind of techniques. Yeah, and I hope i I want to interview more guitarists about different genres, and they told us their stories, their memories about a their journeys about from the guitar or the lives. Yes, Eh, all of us, we have something to tell for the world. Yeah, something to save the world. I have my own influences, and maybe you look at me playing guitar and oh, that's so nice. How you uh, played played that riff or that lick or that solo, because oh, I have my influences, and you discover more music. Yeah, it's like the musician grow up. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Gabriel, thank you so much for being here and talking about you, about your journey, about your stories, about uh, your first guitar, or how you use the music for yourself, and how the subscribers, if somebody wants to contact you, do you have social media?
No.
No, you don't
I
use.
don't. Not yet. I got music out there, but no, not yet. Yeah.
Okay, but in the future, you can. Well, I will create a community, and maybe in the future, you.
They just get a hold of you.
Oh,
They just get a hold of you. They just.
but I don't know. Maybe in the future, you want to meet somebody else. Oh, I like your story. I like your how do you play the guitar, and you will contact them. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, Gabriel, for being here, for accept my invitation to talk about guitars music, and I appreciate a lot that your time. And I know some issues before,
It's all good.
but really interesting. Your 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 speaking, and I hope on the future we can talk more, and maybe you are publishing some projects or something like that.
I'm looking forward to that. I am. Yeah, I'll get something out eventually, but yeah, then we can branch out on that, and I'll tell you how that goes.
Okay. Okay, guys, thank you so much to being here, watching us, talking about guitars, talking about music. Don't forget to subscribe and comment if you like the episode. And don't miss the next episode with another amazing guitarist. This is Guitar Memories. Thank you and bye.